Hi, I'm John Ed Mathison, and I'm a big fan of Stuttgart, especially the Methodist Church in Stuttgart. I'm privileged to be able to share in your stewardship program with this just brief message of testimony about stepping up. That's what God's calling us to do. You know, in life, we've got one of three choices. You can either step down, stay where you are, or you can step up. And what God calls us to always be doing is to step up. The Christian faith is sort of like a bicycle. As long as you're pedaling it and going forward, you'll be all right. But if you stop, then you're going to fall off. You've got a great opportunity to step up at First Church Stuttgart by how you volunteer, how you attend, how you pray, how you serve, how you witness, and how you give. And it's a marvelous, marvelous opportunity just to step up. Let me share with you an interesting experience. Last year, I was invited to speak at the Christ United Methodist Church in Memphis, Tennessee. It's the largest Methodist church in Tennessee, one of the biggest in our jurisdiction. And they invited me to speak on their Stewardship Sunday specifically about financial giving. And I had a great time there with the people. And after the second service, I had a man come up to me and say, "Hey, I want to tell you what happened today." He said, "As we were sitting there listening to you, my wife took out her phone, and she's sitting there fiddling with the phone. And I nudged her, but she kept doing it. And she nudged her again. And finally, after the service, I said, look, that's very, very not the thing to do. The man was preaching, and you were just sitting there playing with your phone." She said, "You know what I was doing?" He said, "What?" I never had this happen before. She said, what he was saying was right. We need to step up in our financial giving. So I was texting the church office to say that the card we sent in this week, tear it up. We're going to write out another one, which will be more appropriate about what we ought to be doing with our money. Can I suggest to you, I don't know if you maybe decided maybe what you're going to do in terms of serving and giving financially. Maybe you just need to tear that up and start all over. In fact, I told the man, I said, I wish everybody could have taken out their phone, and I wish everybody would just tear up their card and do better as to what God wants us to do. Now, you've got that opportunity at Stuttgart. You've got great leadership. I tell you, with Dunklin and Umbra, I don't know of two finer guys anywhere that could be leading a stewardship program. And your church is just one of the real leaders in your whole annual conference. Step up. And when you step up, you begin to step out. God's going to lead you to do some things, your church to do some things. You're going to become engaged in so many things that are so important for God's kingdom. I remember reading one time about a little boy who looked out one morning, and on the farm there was just a fresh blanket of fallen snow. He looked out and he saw his daddy going out and headed toward the barn. And as he did, he left some big footprints in the snow. The little boy thought, wow. He got out, put on his boots, and he started walking along, putting each foot in the footprint of his dad. And he took every step that went right out to the barn. That's been a visual picture for me. Let me say to you that you're going to put your feet in some kind of steps, somebody's footprints. And where you put a footprint, somebody else is going to follow. Let me just encourage you, step up and step out into the footprints of Jesus Christ. Peter said it this way, I want you people in the church, we need to walk in His steps. And that's the best way for a church. It's the best way for an individual. It's the best way for anybody to walk. So my challenge to you is, hey, you're a great church. God can make you greater. Step up and step out to what God's calling you to be.